The Major League regular season has come to an end. Interestingly, yesterday's postseason bracket did not change at all. Cincinnati lost to Milwaukee in a comeback defeat, but Miami secured a win, allowing Cincinnati to edge ahead on the head-to-head tiebreaker and clinch the third wild-card spot. Excluding the shortened season when 16 teams made the playoffs, this is Cincinnati's first postseason berth since 2013, when Shin-Soo was on the roster. The Mets could have made the postseason with a win yesterday, but Juan Soto hit into a double play and later popped out into key scoring opportunities. Francisco Lindor reached base 3 times and fought hard, but ended the game by grounding into a double play. Soto finished the season with 43 home runs, 127 walks, 105 RBIs, and a stolen base title, but with the Mets missing the postseason, it cannot be considered a successful year. His WAR dropped from 8.3 last year to 5.8 this year, while his WRC+ slipped from 181 to 156. Soto still had a strong season, but it proved once again that baseball is not a one-man game. After spending over $1 billion on Soto, but failing to invest in starting pitching, the Mets were leading the majors until June 12 before collapsing. They went 7-14 in their final 21 games, undone by their thin rotation. The Yankees defeated Baltimore thanks to Ben Rice's game-winning home run in the bottom of the 8th, part of a 2-homer night. However, despite finishing tied with Toronto for the most wins in the league, Toronto's victory over Tampa Bay dropped the Yankees to the no-4 seed. Aaron Judge went 1-for-4, capping a historic season with 53 home runs and 114 RBIs. While his totals fell short of Raleigh's 60 homers and 125 RBIs, Judge's 205 WRC was the highest in the league, surpassing Shohei Ohtani. Toronto, needing a win to secure a postseason berth, turned to Kevin Gausman, who lasted just 3.2 innings and gave up 4 runs. But Ernie Quirk had a career-best game, going 3-for-5 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs to lead the Blue Jays past Tampa Bay. George Springer also capped his season with his 32nd home run. His 166 WRC+ marked a career high, ranking 3rd behind Judge and Ohtani. This is Toronto's first All-East title since 2015. The Yankees will face the Red Sox in the Wild Card Series. Boston, which has leaned heavily on former Dodgers players, sent Jose de Leon to the mound, and he earned his first win as a starter since his debut season in 2016, allowing 3 runs over 6.2 innings. Masataka Yoshida homered but finished the season with a .695 OPS, though he hit 1.050 over his last 7 games. Yoshida will need to replace the production of Anthony. The Yankees boast an 18-win duo in Max Fried and Carlos Rodon, but must contend with Garrett Crochet and Tanner Bibee. Crochet is 2.20 with a 2.12 ERA over his last 3 starts against the Yankees, while Bibee was dominant against them until struggling in his last outing. Cleveland, which clinched the division after Detroit lost to Boston, gave up a 3-run shot in the 10th but answered back in the bottom half. After Josh Naylor doubled, Brayan Rocchio launched a walk-off 3-run homer, giving the Guardians back-to-back walk-off wins to end the season. Cleveland, the no-3 seed, will face no-6 Detroit in the wild card round. The postseason matchups are now set. Dodgers vs. Cincinnati, Cubs vs. San Diego, Yankees vs. Boston, and Cleveland vs. Detroit. All series will be played at the higher seeds ballpark, with the first team to 2 wins advancing to the division series. The Dodgers closed the season on a 5-game winning streak. Clayton Kershaw, informed he will pitch in the wild card series, made his final regular season start, throwing 5.1 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts to secure his 223rd career win. His ERA dropped from 2.54 to 2.53. Shohei Ohtani, who rested for only the 2nd time this year outside of paternity leave, returned with a 3-for-5 game including a homer and a double. He finished the season with a 1.01 for OPS, marking his 3rd straight year above 1.000. His WRC+ was 180 and 170 to the past 2 seasons. After setting a Dodgers record with 50 homers last year, Ohtani hit 55 this season, breaking his own mark. His 9.4 WAR led the league and surpassed last year's 9.0. However, he fell 1 home run shy of tying Kyle Schwarber and missed out on a 3rd consecutive home run title. The Dodgers are expected to start Blake Snell, not Ohtani, In Game 1 of the Wild Card Series, Kim Hye-seong hit a 101.6 miles per hour no-doubter for his first home run in 121 days, went hitless in his other 3 at-bats, finishing with a .28 average and .60 OPS. Nick Neidert, making his first start since June 6, struck out 7 in 3.2 innings of 1-run ball. Seattle, which struck out 14 times, closed the season with back-to-back double-digit strikeout games. Raleigh failed to homer after reaching 60, finishing with 60 home runs and 125 RBIs. The Giants swept Colorado to finish 81-81, exactly .500, for just the second time in their 144-year history. Logan Webb struck out 8 in 5.1 scoreless innings for his 15th win. His 207 innings led MLB, while his 243 strikeouts led the NL, the first Giants pitcher since 1944 to do so. Willie Adams, batting leadoff in pursuit of his 30th home run, achieved the milestone, becoming the first Giants shortstop since Alvin Dark in 1954 to hit 30. He also became the first Giants shortstop since 1897 to lead the team in both homers and steals. Rafael Devers, who played all 163 games, hit his 35th homer, the first time since 2008 a team avoided a tiebreaker. Lee Yun-hoo finished his first MLB season strong, going 3-4 with 2 RBIs, raising his final line to a .50 average, .73 for OPS, and to .5 WAR across 150 games. Colorado finished with 119 losses, tied for the third-worst mark in MLB history. The all-time records remain last year's White Sox 121 losses and the 1960 Mets 120. San Diego swept its final 3 game set to prepare for the postseason. Manny Machado hit his 27th homer. The Cubs also swept their final series, with Seiya Suzuki hitting his 32nd homer, setting a new record for Japanese-born players not named Ohtani. Suzuki, who homered 5 times in his final 4 games, despite a slump in the second half, finished 7th in the league in homers and 4th in RBIs. Veteran Charlie Morton made his retirement start, lasting just 1.1 innings. Chris Sale, meanwhile, pitched 5.2 innings of 1-run ball for his 9th win. Sale, who was not traded at the deadline, has a team option for next year. Ha-seong Kim went 0-for-3 with a walk, finishing the year 1-for-19 over his last stretch. His final slash line was .230 with a .6 for OPS. All eyes are on whether he will opt out. As expected, Ronald Acuna Jr. finished with 21 home runs in 95 games, setting up expectations for next year. Castellanos delivered a walk-off sacrifice fly as the Phillies beat Minnesota. Christopher Sanchez struck out 8 over 5 scoreless innings. The Angels lost their final game, giving them 90 losses for the second straight year. Their last 4 seasons had ended with 89, 89, 99, and 90 losses. Mike Trout homered in his first at-bat before leaving the game. Trout finished below a .80 OPS for the first time in his career, excluding his rookie season. Traded midseason, Mike Yastrzemski hit 2 home runs for Kansas City on the final day, finishing with an .839 OPS after struggling to a .685 OPS with the Giants. He enters free agency this winter. Curtis Mead homered to reach 36, preserving his 1.00 OPS across 117 games, tied for 5th in the league with Brent Rooker. The Athletics will debut Sacramento on their uniforms next year. That's all for today's update.